And since we're on the topic of dating, do you want to know what I learned from my therapist today? I have this therapist that is, he kind of is like his specialty is really about like nervous system stuff. And the reason why I work with him is because I realized that I have some like avoidance issues. And I was trying to figure out where they were coming from and what was going on and how it was kind of like relating to my dating life. Anyway, he basically said to me that my issue is that when I go on dates with men, because I'm a person who tends to be an observer, not just with men, but also with everybody. When I meet somebody new, I kind of like tend to stand back and watch and observe and try to decide if I want this person to kind of like come closer or not. That's just the way that I've always been. But because of that, when I go on dates, I kind of do the same thing. I'm sitting, I'm watching, I'm observing, I'm listening, I'm kind of taking in information. I'm like, like, you know what I mean? There's like formulas, there's like information running across the screen in my brain. But I'm not really signaling anything back. I'm kind of just like observing and absorbing. And he said to me, the problem is the kind of guy that you're going to attract by being that way on dates is either an avoidant or a narcissist. Because avoidants trust themselves, but they don't trust the world. Which means if they're interested, they will take the experience that they're having and they'll kind of go like, okay, I like this. I'm interested in this. I'm not really tapping into like what's going on with her or like her clues or whatever signal she's giving off. I'm just thinking about how I feel. A narcissist will go, she's really not giving me much, but I can overcome this. I can conquer this. I can make her like me. A secure person is probably going to disappear because a secure person is going to see your lack of signaling that you're interested as like, I don't even know what's going on here. Like, what is this? And that sort of lack of clarity around how you feel or if you're interested is going to kind of make them just go like, I don't know what's going on with this chick. And you're probably not going to hear from them again. The interesting thing is, as I was saying to my therapist, I've maybe in my whole life been on like 2 dates that did not become a second date, a third date. Meaning the amount of times I've been on a first date that didn't continue, where the person wasn't interested after one date, is like really like 1 or 2. And that's probably only happened in like the last year. And if I think about those people, those were the healthy ones. Because many times I have ended up dating, attracting, being in relationships with men who are avoidant, narcissistic, or both. And what I realize is it's because when I am sort of doing this thing of kind of sitting back a little and sitting behind a wall and just observing and watching and going, listening, I'm engaging, I'm talking, I'm asking questions, but I'm not necessarily showing any actual interest. I'm just kind of like, I'm there and I'm participating, like, you know. And the problem is that I didn't realize that behavior is really nice for a avoidant person, because an avoidant man experiences that as like emotional safety, because there's all this distance, there's all this space, there's nothing that's like coming at him. So he feels safe to kind of like be in this space because it's like, oh, she's not coming at me with anything. So this is actually something that I can go toward. That's kind of what avoidance is, you know? But a secure man needs you to signal something to him that shows him that you're interested. And if you don't signal that, most men are not going to pursue you. The only men that are going to pursue someone who they think does not want to be pursued are narcissists and weirdos. And that explains my dating life. So you know what? Kudos to my therapist, because I've learned something very valuable. And I'm going on a date tomorrow, which is crazy because I've been very anti-date for a while now. But I agreed to go on a date. And I'm going to practice a new thing, an assignment that he gave me. And hopefully it's going to go well, because this person actually seems quite normal and nice. And hopefully he actually is normal and nice and it's not a facade, because you never know these days. Stay woke. But I'm going to try this out, and I'm going to see if it gets me like a good result from a healthy person and not a good result from a avoidant, narcissistic person. We're turning the page. We got to turn the page, you know?
I've started dating in New York City ever since I moved, like maybe like a year ago. And one thing that I've noticed is a lot of these men are not sane in the membrane. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean that like something up here is like not clicking or like not firing correctly. And it's just like, I am into like smart men. And I like smart men. I go on dates with a lot of smart men. But one thing that I'm realizing is that a lot of them are special. They're like very like special. Their brain doesn't work the way that most people's brains work. A lot of things that will make common sense to like the sane person does not make sense to them. And you have to tell them, and they're like, you know, I never thought about that. What do you mean you never thought about that? It's like simple things, and it's just like, I'm not mad at it, but I'm just like, what are you thinking about? Like, what's going on up here? Because I genuinely don't know. I love it, but like, what's going on in your brain? Hello? Anybody up there? Do you guys think about anything other than like business and women? Business and women are all these men think about. Like, literally, that's it.
So every 6 weeks, I have a coffee date with my 34-year-old friend. His friend used to date my sister. And like, I'll tell him the guy that I'm dating and talking to, and he'll be like, this is what he's thinking. And every time he is right. But today I told him about this theory that I have about men's ages and their commitment levels. And he was like, please do not share that online. That is exposing us. And I was like, well, I'm absolutely going to share this online and see if anyone else has had similar experiences. So essentially, I was explaining to him kind of like data points that I've collected about men at different ages. Here's my take. I think that men who are like 30 to 32 have kind of hit this like scarcity mindset, and they're like, okay, time to figure it out. I'm 30. These men, every time I go out with one, literally on the third date, they are like down to be exclusive, like talking about marriage. But then let's say they make it past that point, okay? 33 to 36. This is the most dangerous age. And like, good for them. And I'm not blaming them, because like I would maybe do the same thing. But they have kind of reached this point where they're like, okay, I didn't end up settling down at like 30. I'm now kind of in this groove of living alone and doing my thing. I like my life. I like being selfish. I'm going to ride this out for a few years. They've hit like a really good place in their life financially. They're happy. They like being selfish. They go to the gym. They have their schedule. They're not going to change their schedule for you. Like, why would they do that? For men, timing is a thing. And I think that's like so stupid, but 37, okay? These men, they've either gone to therapy, started to go to therapy, and they're like, okay, I've done the work. I need to heal my toxic attraction. I need to like heal the way that my brain thinks about relationships, and I need to actually maybe learn to meet someone in the middle, okay? They've either done that or they're not really making moves in that direction. I went on a date with a 40-year-old. But on the first date, I could very quickly tell, like, even though he said he wanted to, like, settle down, he did not. He was explaining how, like, this 22-year-old he dated, like, wanted to settle down. And he was like, I just didn't think she was ready for that. And I'm like, okay, then why are you dating, like, 22-year-olds? Like, your brain hasn't, like, developed, you know? You haven't, like, put the work in. That's my theory. I think that 31 to 32, if you get someone at that age, could work out. I think 33 to 36, like, steer clear. 37 to kind of 40, you can tell if they're working on themselves and if they're like ready to put that kind of effort in that makes a relationship a two-way street and makes it work, or if they're just going to be a bachelor forever. I can't really speak to the men that are under 30 or the men over 40 because I don't feel like I've interacted with them a lot, but this is just what I'm gathering from my research in the last year. Just a theory.
I don't date men that don't impress me, and therefore I don't date very often or very many men. I concluded this about myself the other day because I was trying to understand why dating has felt so lackluster, so uninteresting, and I was trying to pinpoint why that is. And what I concluded is that the people that I'm communicating with, at least so far, fail to inspire me. They fail to make me feel impressed, and I'm not romantically attracted to people that I'm not impressed by. That's the bottom line. That's just my standard. That's where it's at. I can't change it, nor would I want to.
Being a bitch while dating helped me find my husband. And trust me, y'all, I had to learn the hard way. I was such a fucking nice girl when I first was dating guys. And when I look back on the way that I approached dating, I genuinely want to vomit into a garbage can because it's embarrassing. But the second I read Why Men Love Bitches, shout out, my favorite book of all time, I recommend it to all young women, it completely shifted how I approach dating. And what I love about that book is that it doesn't teach you how to be an actual bitch. It doesn't teach you how to be mean. It basically teaches you how to be in charge of your own life, how to be empowered while dating men. Because I think a lot of us put men on this pedestal, right? And like, we don't know these men, we don't know them, and they don't know us. And I think it's really important to maintain a full and abundant life and to not prioritize them so quickly. Give them a chance to work for you. Start saying, we'll see. Okay. Like when they start talking up a big game, just say, okay, we'll see what happens. Because ultimately, I think what that does is that it gets you to trust in what is meant for you will never pass you. Once you can really implement that mindset into your head when you are dating, it makes dating feel a lot less scary because you're like, I know that whatever's meant for me will find me. And like, if this person doesn't want to commit to me, that's okay. That's okay. You know, I think it's important to maintain the fullness of your life while you're dating and to withhold parts of yourself, because I know for me, when I was dating guys before I met my husband, I would let them have all of me. And I didn't give them time to fucking earn the parts of myself. And I don't even mean sexually. I just mean like intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. I think it's important to let men work for it. I can go on a whole fucking tangent about this, and I have, but I think it's really important to be a little bit more of a bitch when you're dating, okay? Don't let men in so quickly. Let them earn it and keep your life full. Stop canceling plans with your friends, okay? Hold yourself to a standard. If you have a fun date, great. If you get excited about that guy, great. But also be okay with it not working out. Be a little bit non-attached. And I'm telling you, you guys, that energy of non-attachment, oof. My husband, he fell head over heels for me so quick because like I just did not give a fuck. Of course I loved him and I liked him a lot when we first met, but like at the end of the day, like I had so much self-respect that like that was something that pulled him in and made him very attracted to me. So I think it's really important to hold your own and to not be afraid to be a little bit of a bitch when you're dating, okay?